Sierra Club presentation by Oscar and Philip Period 3. The modern Sierra Club is a liberal, pro-environmental group that has accumulated over 3.8 million members. It is based on Oakland, California, but has national influence. It is currently under leadership by Allison, the president. Under her are Ross, vice president for conservation, Patrick, vice president for chapters, who is the coordinator of regional and local boards across the United States, Megan, secretary, and Cheyenne, treasurer. The club provides financial incentives in the form of news and services, such as monthly subscription of the National Sierra magazine. The club strives for its members to explore, enjoy, and protect the wild places of the earth. The Sierra Club was founded in 1892 in San Francisco by John Muir. He was a Scottish immigrant from Wisconsin who believed in the necessity and the protection of natural resources. So he made it the goal for the club to preserve and enjoy the natural beauty of the environment. In retrospect, the founding of the club was due to the combined interests of environmentalists to restore the natural qualities of Sierra Nevada. John's intentions for the club was to raise awareness of environmental destruction with the intention for others to have the same opportunities to experience nature at its core.
At its core, the Sierra Club carries on much of John Muir's original vision and purpose to secure a healthy environment for all to have the pleasure of experiencing. In accomplishing this, the organization focuses its efforts upon tackling climate change and pollution that pose a devastating threat to ecosystems worldwide. Aside from defending the preservation of natural spaces and parks, as it commonly did in the past, the modern club has increasingly set its sights upon challenging fossil fuel industries and unsustainable practices, such as large-scale mining, deforestation, and agriculture. In remedying the harm of these practices, the Sierra Club has also set out on a mission to transition the nation towards clean energy, diminishing our reliance on polluting fossil fuels and carbon emissions. While the organization resolves to fight damage to our natural world, it also is motivated to expand and foster a commitment to preservation throughout society, doing so through education programs and raising awareness on climate concerns to all demographics. But how exactly does this organization plan on achieving these goals? Well, the Sierra Club is influential via three core methods: lobbying, election, and litigation. In terms of lobbying, the organization is effective at managing large-scale grassroots campaigns. Across the nation, chapters are smaller, more local collectives under the Sierra Club banner, who inform and rally the public in their region to support an environmental issue or policy. With masses of people organized to lobby and pressure government officials representing these citizens, the Sierra Club effectively exerts great influence over congressmen, state legislatures, and even the executive branch. Beyond swaying government officials to support environmental protections, the club also does a great deal in promoting candidates who they recognize will do good for their cause, based on historic views and actions towards improving the climate, as well as chances of successful elections. The organization may decide to endorse them or pool money in supporting their campaign. As a result, candidates may have greater spotlight and credibility by carrying the approval of the widely influential Sierra Club and through donations or independent expenditures towards advertising themselves. Lastly, the club performs activism in the legal world, filing lawsuits aimed at blocking and reversing laws or federal actions that hamper conservation efforts. Under the Environmental Law Program, the club's legal team has been quite litigious, launching hundreds of legal acts aimed at reducing polluting industries and preventing the expansion of fossil fuel projects. From coal plants to natural gas pipelines, law is one mode by which the Sierra Club can act. In the century-long run of the Sierra Club, it is bound to have its share of stumbles in activism. One such instance of this is in the Battle of Hetch Hetchy Valley at the beginning of the organization's inception. After natural disasters exposed the weaknesses of San Francisco's infrastructure, many believed that Hetch Hetchy Valley should be flooded and transformed into a dam, providing both clean water and hydroelectricity to strengthen the city. On the other hand, preservationists of the Sierra Club staunchly objected, arguing that flooding the valley would destroy ecosystems and hamper the untouched beauty of the location. Both sides were split on the issue between social necessity and the natural importance of preservation. But in spite of the club's efforts to lobby the government, Congress had passed the Raker Act in 1913, giving San Francisco the authority to develop the region and eventually construct the dam. Aside from lobbying, the organization's litigation has also failed before in preventing environmental change. In the case of Sierra Club v. Morton in 1972, the club attempted to prevent development by suing the Secretary of the U.S. Department of the Interior for harm against public interest. On the underdeveloped Mineral King Valley, the Walt Disney Company had made efforts to construct a ski resort, getting permits and approval from the Department of the Interior to lay out roads and power lines along this land. Against this, the Sierra Club sued the federal agency. They argued that the Administrative Procedure Act, ensuring the protection of public rights by agencies, was violated as developing this valley was contrary to the public's best interest in preserving the land. They appealed to the California Federal Court, which ruled in favor of the club and halted construction. The case then progressed to the Ninth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals, who found that the Sierra Club had no grounds to sue, for they never stayed their own harm by the Disney resort, to which the Supreme Court also agreed with. As a result, the construction efforts could not be blocked and the organization failed its preservation goals. Aside from their blunders, the Sierra Club generally succeeds in activism more than it fails. In their electioneering and spending on the campaigns of candidates, the organization has made strides in promoting conservation-minded officials in federal positions. In 2012, the club spent thousands in influencing voters away from the Republican Senate candidate Heather Wilson and towards her opponent Mark Heinrich in New Mexico. With this campaign support and promotion, Heinrich was elected and has supported clean energy industries and resisted the expansion of oil production via the Keystone Pipeline. 2 years later, in the 2014 Senate election for Massachusetts, the organization successfully advocated for Ed Markey's campaign with thousands of dollars. They aided in influencing voters to finally elect him to power. And in power, he has worked to form the Green New Deal, tackling climate change. Public lobbying efforts have also seen success, such as with the passing of the Alaska National Interest Lands Conservation Act through relentless advocating. They rallied their supporters and the public, able to finally pressure for the bill's passage under President Carter in 1980. This guaranteed that hundreds of millions of acres of Alaska would be protected as national parks and wildlife refuges. The Sierra Club has made about $167 million and spent millions more, being in a deficit in money. The club had accumulated funds through donations and grants, which were spent towards lobbying efforts, brand promotions, and campaigns. One instance of this is their Clorox partnership, for $1.3 million to give Clorox the right to display the club's logo on its cleaning products. In 2015, there was a $15 million grant given to them by the Obama administration, useful for funding the Beyond Coal campaign, seeking to close over 500 coal plants by 2020 and promoting alternative renewable energy. In addition, it spent millions of dollars more with its affiliated PAC, the Sierra Club Independent Action, against Republican candidates in 2014 general elections. And that about wraps up the Sierra Club. Thank you for listening.